Good morning, Year 6, and happy Friday! Before we begin, because it is Friday and it has been a long week, I am sure, of home learning and hopefully lots of fun in between. Please take time to just thank all the adults at home that have been helping you. They are working super duper hard to try and do their best for you at this tricky time. So please take a moment just to thank them and give them a big cuddle and say thank you, because it is hard. After that, you may resume the video and have a look at what you're doing today. So today we have got some more reading on Tom's Midnight Garden. In maths, you're going to be looking at circles and all the properties of them. New learning there if you want to challenge yourself. In Spag, we are revising antonyms, and in English, it is the last day of the free choice writing. I have had lots and lots of pieces of writing already sent to me, so that's amazing. Thank you so much. If you haven't sent me your piece of writing or you haven't yet started, you have still got time today and I would love to see it. So have a look at that and brilliant, enjoy your day.
Hello Year 6. You may remember at the end of the chapter you read yesterday that some post had just arrived. There were 2 letters. So in chapter 19 today you're going to find out what the letters were about. Hope you enjoy your chapters today, 19 and 20, and then you're going to answer some questions afterwards. So here are your questions for today. Good luck with those, and the answers will be on the next page. Here are your answers for today. Number 5, there's several possible answers really. It depends what you felt the impression of the garden was. As long as you've used something from the text to show what you mean and why you said it, then your answer will probably be correct. On number 6, it was the yews that were personified. They're a kind of tree. Remember, personification is when we take an object that's not really alive and make it sound as if it is. So the trees seem to watch Tom like dark, deep-set eyes. That would be your personification. I didn't copy all of the text out because the bit in between the word use and seemed wasn't relevant to the answer. That's why I've put the ellipses there. So we're going to do some maths today, Year 6, and we're starting with some skills practice. We're going to do some addition work and a little bit of subtraction. You've got a number in the middle here, which is 61. Now on the red line, your job is to add 0.8, which I've started to do for you. And obviously going back this way, you're subtracting the 0.8, so we're counting in 0.8. On the yellow line, you're going to add 3.8, which I've started to do for you, and then subtracting your 3.8 this way, and so on. The purple line, adding 2.3, and obviously this way, subtracting your 2.3. So you don't need to draw that diagram, obviously, just write down the numbers that you would put into the sequence, and the answers are on the next page. Here are your answers for today. You'll be able to see how you got on with your sequences. And for the main part of the lesson today, we're going to learn about circles. Circles have some names for the parts of them. Right around the edge of the circle is called the circumference, so that's all the way around the edge. The distance from one edge of the circle to the other, right the way across, is called the diameter. Now you could draw that anywhere, obviously, one edge to the other is the diameter, and then halfway across from the edge to the middle is called the radius. Now because the radius goes halfway across, if you doubled the radius, if you have 2 of those, you've then got the diameter. Alright, so there is a relationship there. The diameter, half of it, is going to be the radius. So if somebody tells you what the radius of a circle is, you could double the number and you would know the diameter. And if you were told the diameter, you could halve it and know the radius. Here's a nice question for you to think about. How would you explain what a radius, diameter and circumference are to someone who can't see this diagram? So think about the relationships then. As we've said, the diameter is double the radius. It's less obvious whether there is a relationship between the circumference and the diameter or radius, but today you're going to find out about that because there is actually a relationship and we're going to learn what it is. You can't see it in the same way that you can with the radius diameter relationship, so we'll have a look at that in a moment. Before we think about the circumference, we're just going to focus first on the radius and diameter and get you doing a little bit of work with that. So in each picture you're shown either the radius or diameter, and you have to work out the other one as well. So you can pause the video to do this work and the answers will be on the next page. Remember that the radius will be half of the diameter will be double the radius. Here are the answers for that work, so you'll be able to see how you got on with calculating those today. So that's your radius and diameter. Now we need to have a think about the circumference, which is the distance right around the edge of the circle. Now to find the circumference, we use a formula. Okay, so to find the circumference, what you need to do is get a special number called pi. I'll tell you what that is in a minute, pi, and you times it by the diameter. Okay, now pi is a really interesting number. It goes on forever and ever and ever, it doesn't end, but it starts with 3.14. So we're going to think about pi today as being 3.14. So to find the circumference of a circle, what you need to do is get 3.14, because that's pi, and times it by whatever the diameter of your circle is. So say you had a circle with a diameter of 4, you would have to do 3.14 times 4 to find the circumference. Okay, let's just read this information here. It goes over it again. The ratio of the circumference to the diameter in any circle is always approximately 3.1. This constant value is called pi, the Greek letter pi. It is an irrational number. The decimal places go on and on without ever repeating, and the value of pi to 2 decimal places is 3.14. So we can write this relationship in words. The circumference, C, of a circle is equal to pi multiplied by the diameter. Or we could write it using symbols. Circumference equals pi times d. Taking a value of 3.1 for pi, or 3.14 if you're happy multiplying with 2 decimal places, you're going to use this formula to answer the questions. Okay, so you're going to find your circumferences, remembering that pi is 3.14 if you can, or you can just use 3.1 if you prefer, and you need to times it by the diameter. So good luck with those questions, and the answers will be on the next page, and you will get the answers for whether you've used pi as 3.1 or 3.14. So here are the answers to your questions. You can see in brackets that you've got the answers if you have used pi as 3.1, and the first answers are given as pi as 3.14. You'll be able to see how you got on with those. Hope you enjoyed that today, something a little bit different for you to think about with the circles for Friday. That's all from me today, and Miss Tucker will carry on with the work for today, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Okie dokie guys, so before I explain anything to do with spag and antonyms, I would like you to just look at these 2 stories. So I've got story 1 and story 2. Please ignore the red underlines on the words that aren't real words. They are names of places in this fictional stories. I would like you to read through first of all the first story, then take a second to read through the second and see if you can spot any words that have been swapped for their opposites. So please pause the video now, try and find as many opposite pairs as you can, and then resume the video when you are ready. So the opposites that you may have found are these ones. You have got strong and weak, tall and short, young and old, heat and cool, day and night, quiet and loud, deep and shallow, distant and nearby, and then always and never. Now, these words are complete opposites of each other. When we are talking about pairs of words or groups of words that all have different or particularly opposite meanings, we call these antonyms. So in grammar, antonyms are the opposite of synonyms because they are the opposite. So they are words that have directly opposite meanings. We're quite good at antonyms, but it's just remembering what antonyms means, and these we're really usually very good at year 6. So have a little look at these questions here. You've got 4 questions to have a go at, all talking about antonyms. Remember, they are words that all have opposite meanings. So pause the video, have a go in your notebook, and then resume it when you're ready for the answers. Okay, so for the first one, available, the antonym for available is unavailable. That is the complete opposite of available. The opposite of physical is mental. So you might have a physical challenge or you might have a mental challenge. And the opposite of awkward could be straightforward. In the next one, we have to look for pairs of words that are antonyms. So explanation and identify don't really relate to each other too much. You might identify something, then explain it. Apparent and unclear. So when something is apparent, it's very obvious. When something is unclear, it's very unobvious. That might be one. Or occur, so when something occurs, it happens. And bargain. Definitely the middle one there. In the next sentence, we have to look for a pair of antonyms. So people often have to fail several times before they achieve something great. The pair of antonyms you were looking for were fail and achieve. And in the last one, we have to look for the opposite of the word nuisance in this sentence. So Fraser was a real nuisance all the way through the project. What's the opposite of nuisance? Help. Really well done if you got those right. Okay, a little SPAG challenge for you. See if you can match all of the words and the antonyms. There is a PDF copy of this. Pause the video and we'll resume it when you're ready for the answers. Okay, so guys, the answers are special matches with different. The opposite of different would be ordinary. Generous matches with giving. The opposite of giving would be stingy. On time, a good word for that is punctual. The opposite of that is always late. The opposite of, a synonym of angry is upset. An antonym of that would be, there it is, pleased. The opposite, small is the same as, I love this word, diminutive. Isn't that lovely to say, diminutive? Small is the same as diminutive, and the opposite of that is large. A synonym for honest is sincere, and an antonym for sincere is deceptive. Pretty, a synonym for that is, we've done that one, beautiful, and then the antonym is ugly, and then improve is then develop, and the antonym for develop is to regress. Well done if you got those all right. Good job on your antonyms today. Okay, team, so we're on to our week 2 of our English cycle. So just like in class, we've spent all of last week building up skills towards this purpose of writing, and now it is a big right kind of time for you to utilize those skills that we developed last week. So today I'm going to present to you a free choice right. So as long as it is an information text informing me about something or other, I'm happy to receive it. It can be on anything that you like. If you're really stuck on what to do it on, prehistoric animals are super interesting. I've done an example for you on a prehistoric big cat, and I found it really interesting to do the research, so that might be quite nice, and it links to our Stone Age topic, but it can be on anything you like in the world. You can present it in any way that you like, as long as it is written down, although an information video would be really cool to see. So if you want to do one of them, please do. If you want it to count towards your end of year writing grade, it does have to be written down though, which is a bit sad. But it can be written on the computer. You can use a document to do it. If you're going to do that, if you're going to do it on Word or Publisher or PowerPoint, pretty please, would you be able to export it before you send it? If you go to the File tab at the top and then go down to Export, it will then create a PDF, which is a little bit easier to send across, because sometimes when you send PowerPoints and Word documents, it moves all the writing out of place and it's a bit of a jumble at this end. So if you export into a PDF, it freezes everything where it is and sends it across nice and neat. Or you can create a big double page spread in your book with flaps and pop-ups and spinny bits and tabs that pull out, because I know you will love doing them. So you could do that as well. There are some examples in the PDF document that goes along with this video. So I found lots and lots of creative examples if you want to have a look at those for some inspiration, and there are lots of different topics. And you can spend as much time as you want on this. So although all the PDFs give you a suggested time for the day on whichever documents like in class, some of us work a little bit quicker, some of us need a little bit more time, and with everything that's going on in the world right now, some of us have got a little bit more time or a little bit more help than others. So don't feel that you need to spend 5 hours on this over the week. If you want to spend 5 hours on this over the week, you can do so. I'm not going to stop you. But if you have got maybe an hour and a half one afternoon and want to sit down and bosh one out, that's fine. If you want to spend a whole day on it, that's fine. If you want to spend half an hour because that's all you've got, that's absolutely fine. But any kind of writing would be really lovely to receive. I received lots of nice pieces last week, and I really enjoyed them. So especially if you haven't sent me one, I'd love to see one from you. So I'm going to show you now the example that I created for you. I think you'll like it. No judgment on my very wonky faced cat though. So mine is a little pop-up. I'll show you in a second how to do it. Just a nice big colourful information text. The writing didn't take too long. Most of it was research and creating the pop-up. So if you would like to create a pop-up like that, you need to fold over a piece of paper and draw a headless animal on the paper. Then you need to cut that out, do the same for the head and the tail, and then colour it in. Again, a bit of a wonky face, but that's okay. Then what you need to do is attach the head to the body like so. I used a little bit of sticky tape because it was nice and flexible and would allow it to move. And then you just need to turn the feet out so you can stick them down. So I just taped my feet flat onto the book like that. And when you fold it, it all folds up nice and neatly, and you unfold it and it pops out like at the start of the video. So if you want to do one of them, you can do. If you want to do, I always think about when we think of creative presentations, I always think about that huge Titanic piece we did last year where I had a swivelly bit and a pull-out bit and a bit that comes out of an envelope, and there were flaps galore and bits of drawing and writing. You know, go nuts on it if you want to. If you just want to write down an information text, you can do that too. But the options are endless. So that is my task for you. Try and think about all the things we talked about last week. There is a copy of the expanding success criteria on the PDF for you to refer to. Cram in as many techniques as you can and you feel comfortable using, and then I really look forward to reading them. I loved your text last week about the Stone Age. You all did a phenomenal job. Well done to all of you that sent those in. And so I'm looking forward to this week. Off you go, enjoy. And that, my lovelies, is it for this week. Well done for getting through the whole week. I'm very, very proud of how well everybody is doing at the minute. It is a really, really tricky time, but I'm very proud of you, and it's all looking very positive. I cannot wait to see you all again in school when we're all back together. It will be great. If you are bored over the weekend, BBC have got the extra learning, or you can have a go on the websites here, or have a little look at your connected curriculum menu. There's some nice activities to do there. Please keep using Padlet. You're all using that really, really well this week. It's lovely to see all your little messages and any photos that you have as well. Other than that, have a lovely weekend. Rest, enjoy, spend time with your families, and I will speak to you on Monday. Bye, Year 6.